Man, if you're trying to find an amazing new girlfriend, partner, or wife the same way you did it even just 5 years ago, then there's almost 100% chance that you are burning money, time, and peace. And you also have your self confidence, hope, and beliefs that it's even possible bleeding out the nose. Because what used to work, being at college or fancy dates, partying, or being a gentleman, going out to the local bar, relying on your social circle, none of that cuts it anymore. One of my clients, Miguel, he barely had a single date in 2 years. We changed 3 photos and he went on 5 dates in a week. I'm going to show you exactly how. In this video, I'll show you the old way of finding a new girlfriend that you keep trying, which no longer works, versus the new way of finding your next amazing girlfriend. A way to enable you to find your perfect match a lot quicker, a lot less pressure, and giving you more options and without having to mass approach strangers or go bar hopping or sacrificing your peace. So if time wasted, frustration and costs are rising, and your dating and relationship results are flatlining, this is the video for you. So let's get into the old way of finding a new girlfriend. A lot of you watching this met your ex-wife or partner before 2015, just 11 years ago. I'm going to show you why that matters and exactly why it's hurting you today and how to overcome it in 2 simple steps. To understand why you're stuck, we need to go back further than 2015 for a little bit of fun history. Back to when many of you who were already in your last marriage and the world was changing around you in a big but invisible way. 2015 was the major turning point, but the first real crack in intersexual relationships that appeared with widespread SMS in the early 2000s. After eons of humans living daily life apart and doing their own thing, wondering, anticipating, imagining about each other, suddenly there was instant access. Our sexual psychology wasn't ready for that. But that was just the warm-up, because next came the first smartphones in 2007, then the App Store in 2008, and that opened the door. Then in late 2010, Instagram launched and took off like nothing before it. Then on September the 12th, 2012, Tinder was released onto the App Store. By that time, there were over 1 billion people globally with smartphones. The impact was seismic. Tinder launch day offered tens of millions of iPhone users the future. And for the first time in human history, all the pieces of the puzzle for irreversible change on how men and women related were in place. Smartphones had hit critical mass, mobile internet was normal, GPS location tracking was normal, push notifications became a thing, social media addiction loops already primed via Instagram and Facebook, and that's why Tinder exploded so fast. Now from 2012 to 15, that's when the real collision happened. All at the same time. Instagram exploded visually, Tinder exploded sexually, smartphones became universal, mobile cameras became high quality, personal attention became a commodity controlled by algorithms, and that's the period where social proof became currency and women's source of attention scaled globally, and dating moved from local social circles like your town or your college campus into a globally accessible marketplace. But not really, because we still all lived locally. Flirting changed from getting dressed up and going out 2 nights a week to searching from the comfort of your couch in your pajamas, projecting a large life. Women didn't actually get more options, they just got a tsunami of mediocre volume. And men started competing digitally instead of physically and socially. That 3-year window from 12 to 15 quietly rewired modern dating psychology and the way humans courted forever. And you missed it because you were busy being a good husband, a good father, and the provider that you wanted to be. Now, before I get into what this means for you specifically, if you want to ask me questions directly, there's a free community called Magnetic Man Dating on School. It's not some mass marketed group with 5,000 guys in it. It's a tight group of mature, successful men in exactly your situation. It's got a structured classroom, it's got videos and free resources. The link's below. Join while it's still free. All right, back to the main stuff. Now, by 2015, just 11 years ago, the world had changed. Let's reflect that in just early 2000s, when many of you men were already in your last relationship, dating and attraction was happening the way your ancestors had done it for thousands of years. And then literally in the fart of an ant on an evolutionary timescale, it changed. And while you were consumed with your work, your family, your relationship, the entire fabric of society changed without you noticing. As the man in your relationship, you were almost shielded from even having to pay this change any real attention. Your woman was the social one and you didn't have to bother with all this kid stuff. Sure, you changed with it. You adopted iPhones, you adopted social media, But socially speaking, as a man, you were tied up in a cozy relationship. You were working hard, focused on work, house, kids, wife. You didn't have time to learn new technology that the teenagers were using or spend hours curating your feed or worse, acting a bit like a wanker and feeling a little feminine taking photos of yourself. In fact, you mostly disliked being in photos and avoided it. How do I know? Because that was me. And you were able to get away with that until now. From 2015, women took to Instagram like flies to honey because attention is a woman's currency. Not just single women, all women, including your ex, while you were with her. Women began to understand social media from an attention and marketing perspective. They had to keep up with the Joneses. That now sets the scene. Let's jump back to pre-2015. The majority of humans were meeting and dating like their grandparents had and their great-grandparents and all their ancestors before them. Finding a romantic partner was a level playing field. It was played in a very small, tight geographical arena. Only the bold, free young travellers with no career or business ambition were able to stroll beyond that boundary and sample exotic flavours. Everyone else, they had their city or their town or college and the local social scene within it. If you wanted to find a romantic partner, you had to get dressed up, organise friends, and go out for an evening or a social event to meet new people. You had to flirt in person, as did women, and awkwardly navigate the messy and challenging realities of human courtship. Talking in real time, sussing each other out, figuring out who was in your league or not, making approaches, getting rejected. Maybe you get a single phone number from that one girl and you go and tell your mates, hey, I got lucky, man. And you spend a few weeks talking on the landline and then eventually ask her out on a date. Now, if she accepted you, you would generally be expected to take her to a nice date and organise things and pay for it. You were a gentleman and you were courting the old way. By the time the first date with her came around, you'd already met in person initially. So the first date was actually a date. It was already established. There was some chemistry, some alignment, some banter. That was the old way. Then, sometime in the last 11 years, since 2015, the relationship you got into ended. You went through a breakup or divorce. Maybe you became a single dad. You had to go through some real shit, man, and you had to hold it all together. And then eventually, you became ready to find a new girlfriend, partner, or wife. You thought, this should be easy, right? Because it was easy enough before. For the next year or two, nothing worked. In fact, it was worse than imaginable. Being a nice gentleman, only talking to one woman at a time to be respectful, trying to take women out on fancy first dates to impress her, always asking her what she wanted to do because your mum taught you that respecting a woman's choice made you a good man. And because you're a good, well-raised man, that means you should have women wanting to date you, right? But nothing worked. You tried the apps, you tried texting, you tried red pill content, but still nothing worked. And now you've found this video because just like Neo in the Matrix, you're still looking for answers. The question nags you night and day. What do women want? How do I attract a good one? Well, here I can tell you about the new way to find your next girlfriend, partner, or wife. Just because it hasn't worked since your last breakup doesn't mean it's a total failure. It simply means you had no reason to evolve with the rest of society through this massive upheaval. Teenagers had to evolve or get left behind. Women had to evolve or risk being seen as irrelevant and miss out on the economy, on the attention economy that their social marketing savvy friends were participating in. Your parents were oblivious, but not you. You had your head down working to pay the bills, you had your ex nagging you, and the kids demanding extra pocket money. Now, here's the new way to find your next girlfriend or wife. Firstly, stop lamenting the good old days. Man, they're gone. Stop blaming women, stop blaming the apps, stop blaming gurus, and stop blaming yourself. Finding your next girlfriend in 2026 and beyond has become social marketing at a digital level. What the rest of the world had to evolve into while you were busy is personal branding. This is your digital billboard. Back in the day, before the smartphones, people used to place a classified advertisement in the back of the newspaper, which read something like this. Man, 43, his own hair, employed, seeking attractive female, 38, who wants help raising a family. Apply with him. That was the extent of social marketing. Today, your personal brand is your digital billboard. Women aren't looking at the back of a newspaper. They're browsing the internet and looking for men the same way you look for a hotel on TripAdvisor. Now, I get it. It sucks. It feels cheap and sleazy and it goes against everything you were taught as a man. But once you get past that feeling, it's also a massive opportunity. Because right now there are thousands of amazing women all wondering, where are the good men? I'm not talking about the loud, obnoxious, clout-chasing types. I'm talking the good, family-oriented, values-driven types who take care of themselves but don't like being in the spotlight. Yet, you are full of frustration hearing that because you think, here I am, I made myself available, and you all rejected me. This is the part no one taught you. This was the part everyone else naturally had to evolve to. They weren't or not rejecting you. They're just rejecting the old-fashioned system that you're trying to use for attraction and dating. As an analogy, it would be like rocking up to a computer gaming LAN party carrying a 1998 Windows machine running on floppy disks. And while everyone else at the party's computers are full of NVIDIA GPUs running 128 gigs of RAM, it's not that you're a bad guy, it's just that your system isn't compatible, and so you get rejected from the party or left to watch from the side. In a deregulated, commoditized dating market, women have the illusion of infinite choice. That doesn't mean women are happy either. I mean, the normal, grounded, down-to-earth women that you don't see naked on the internet who just want a good man, they just want to bake cakes and spend time with the kids, raise some goats, grow some herbs, work out, eat healthy food, whatever. They're pulling their hair out because the men that they want haven't evolved onto the new game board. Okay, Dan, so what is the new game board? Well, because attention for women went through the roof, women are now dealing with an unprecedented quantity of volume. Psychologically, they're not equipped to handle it. Women can still only realistically chat to a few guys, and a normal woman only truly wants to be interested and focused on one good man. Now, you can't cold approach in the street anymore. Cultural safety has been eroded and opportunities are disappearing, and women are scared. So all they have left is online. So she's got to sift through thousands of profiles trying to cut through beige, mediocre noise. You know what hasn't changed? Sexual attraction triggers haven't changed. Women are still attracted to confidence and social leadership, grounded masculinity, and a man who takes time to learn and read the cues and lead the flirt, lead the relationship, and not be a try-hard or people pleaser, not a guy that crumbles at the first sign of pressure. Attraction hasn't changed. It's the same it's been for human eternity. It's just the delivery system that's changed. Nicotine still has the same effect on us. It's just that the delivery system has evolved. Now there's nasal sprays and patches instead of suffocating black tar and disgusting smell. What about sugar? It still has the same effect on the body. It's just that the delivery systems have become more sophisticated. We now have Mars bars instead of having to suck nectar from flowers or eat a bowl of fruit. All that online dating has done is put a new firewall between men and women. It's a new layer that men never took the time to really learn and understand. Once you learn to navigate that, then things get easier. It's all just noise and you've got to cut through it. Okay, so the way you do this is to imagine you are a delicious hamburger. As a delicious hamburger, among all the different burgers, you want to be chosen. Now, if you're a burger, who are your customers? Well, they're hungry people. Now, what do burgers do in order to get chosen as the preferred burger and to be selected by the hungry person? They market themselves. Think about it. Have you ever gone to a Burger King or Hungry Jack's and seen a bad-looking burger on the menu board? I doubt it. And if you did, would you buy it when there's all these delicious-looking burgers on the menu? Probably not, because normal human psychology dictates that we want to believe we're getting the premium version. No one wants to believe that they're getting something below average. And so when you drive down a street full of fast food restaurants, you see these digital billboards covered in the most amazing looking burgers that you've ever seen. It makes your mouth water, it makes your tummy growl in anticipation. The digitization of the dating market is the same. Women are as hungry as ever for a good man. And right now, most men on that menu look identically untasty. Same bland photos, same boring profiles, same bios, and at an Instagram or Tinder level, she's literally window shopping. I know, man, it sucks, but here's the thing. In reality, you're not just another item on the menu. The hardest part for you is deciding it's time to evolve and start standing out. The rest is just mechanics. Remember I talked about Miguel? This is exactly where he was stuck, so keep watching to find out how he solved it. Now, I know what you're thinking. It feels cheap. It feels like it cheapens real connection. I get it. It goes against everything you were taught as a man. But get this straight. It's not a replacement for who you are, okay? It's just a new layer. It's a firewall between you and the women you want. It's not a complete blockade like the Strait of Hormuz. And with that understanding, it's no longer a problem and it starts becoming an opportunity. So I'm going to break this down even further. The same gap that you feel means other men feel it too. 90% roughly of men are on the internet screaming, it's not fair, and they keep losing. You, on the other hand, are going to understand that by mastering your personal brand using photos and presenting the Hungry Jack's, Double Whopper, Golden Platinum Dream Unicorn version of yourself, you're not being scandalous. You're literally just marketing yourself. And when you stand out in the right way, guess what? You draw the attention of buyers. Right now, you are the product, women are the buyers. That doesn't mean you're just a number. It just means that she needs to filter out all the crap before she can start a real interaction with a real man. Yes, that's you. But because she's flooded, inundated with mediocre photo sets, she has to make a choice. She doesn't know any of these millions of men that she's confronted with. She knows nothing about you or any of them. So she uses the only metric she can to determine who to open the door to and who to close it to. And she does that by the quality of your personal branding, aka your photos, your social media, your dating profiles, okay? The message I'm wholeheartedly trying to get through to you, what I hope for you to truly understand so that you can win, is that you might literally be her dream guy, but she'll choose the guy that's terrible for her just because he has better photos, better branding, and an upgraded texting system. I get that it seems unfair, but are you after a box of tissues so you can go and cry on your pillow? Or do you want the simplest, easiest solution so you can go and do your duty as her best option to make sure she stands the best chance of finding you and not the guy that's bad for her? Now, the next mistake guys make here is they go out and find a fancy dating photographer who charges 3 times the amount that any other photographer does. They spend $5,000 on a photo shoot package, they get a handful of nice photos, it's really exciting, and he posts them up and nothing, crickets. This is the point that most guys get angry, they give up and become full-blown misogynistic, red-pilled, bitter men. Because logically, it makes 0 sense. And that's what Miguel was heading toward. Before getting my help, he had no dating. His Tinder was barren, and by the time he'd found me, he already had a fancy photo shoot scheduled and booked in. So in between him starting with me and that photo shoot date, I quickly looked at all the photos he already had, and I very carefully selected a handful of the best. I personally edited them using my art piece principles hierarchy of photo elements. Once I edited them, he was blown away by the results. He got them rated online, and his rating soared through the roof to a 9.8 out of 10. Just to be clear, there's no guarantees of that for everyone using old photos because it depends what we're starting with. Sometimes we have to get new photos. But with that, Miguel launched Tinder, and within a day, in his words, it was raining women, and he went on 5 dates in a week. And then he went and did the photo shoot. Look, man, the results were okay, but even these dating photographer guys, they lack the deep understanding of the hierarchy of photo elements and what women actually wanted to see. So Miguel was surprised that some of the professional photos that he got actually didn't rate as well as the ones I'd already edited for him. Now, the reason for this is because I've spent thousands of hours figuring out what women respond to, helping guys craft social media profiles and understanding marketing principles. All of this, everything, is just about cutting through the noise. Instagram and dating apps are busy. Every man and his dog is there, and that creates a huge amount of volume to cut through. And when women get online, they're faced with a tsunami of average photo sets that all look the same. It makes guys look like they don't give a fuck about themselves. And once you get this, once you get it, you understand this is just a matter of presenting yourself the way women want to see you online. That's when they message you and you quickly get the date. This has a profound effect on your results. Guys like Miguel, successful, amazing on paper, a great catch that have spent years pulling their hair out, swiping on dating apps and getting nowhere, can suddenly be inundated with women and options. And it's as simple as understanding this. All you have to do is create the photos that present the dream version of you in the way that excites women's sexual curiosity and interest. Once you do that, you stand out in a way that makes it easy for women to choose you from the tsunami of men that she faces every day. You become the silver surfer riding high atop the wave of mediocre average men that all look the same online. It makes you the obvious choice for her. Think about it, man. How would life change for you if instead of opening your dating app every day and swiping into the void with nothing in return, you woke up to women messaging you, asking you, "Hey, how was your day?" Making it easy for you to communicate with them and easily agreeing to meet you for a date. Would that change things for you? Well, if it would, the first step is to get some feedback on your current photos. I know this can be scary, especially if you never asked anyone before. So here's a gift for you. For any man over 40 who wants to make a change to their dating, if you comment "audit" below and join my free school, I'm giving away up to 5 free video audits weekly where I record a personal, confidential, private video for you, going deep into your photos and showing you exactly what's hurting you and why, and give you the roadmap to quickly fix your photos and start getting the attention you deserve. Check the link in the description and go ahead and join while it's still free. You know what, man? I love that you're still here watching. It means you care. It means you want to win. So just in closing summary, there's a new system for dating. It's nothing more than a new layer that us men have to cut through to get the dating opportunities that we want. What's magical about this is that so few men in your situation understand this. And so when when one of you finally gets it and makes the change, his options go through the roof. Now, I hope this has been helpful. Please give it a thumbs up and a like. And if I don't see you in Magnetic Man Dating on School, I'll see you in the next video.